was born in Natchez, Mississippi, February the 13th, 1907, in a big antebellum 12-room house. I went to kindergarten 2 years to Miss Bertha. She was a crippled lady. She let me ride on the foot of her rolling chair. She loved me, and I surely did love her. When I was 9 years old, we moved to Columbus, Georgia, and in the Rose Hill section. I went to Rose Hill Baptist Church and school. The school was 1 block from our house, and the church was 5 blocks. We didn't have a car. Very few people did. We rode the streetcar when necessary to go to town or any place couldn't walk. There were 5 girls that lived on our block and 1 boy. He played with us and we had lots of fun. Now each child had chores to do every day except Sunday, and we worked hard so we could be through to play in the afternoons. We didn't have a lawnmower either. Most people dug up their yards and swept them with yard brooms. And I cut our grass with scissors. We lived up on a high hill and would rake down the scrapings of the grass. We had chickens and I attended to them. I cleaned our house, roost and nest. We named our chickens and they knew their names. All roosters were named Jack, and hens different girls' names. One night during a storm, I heard a baby chick chirping, and my mother let me go out in the storm, and I found the little white bitty, and we named her Gutter Rose. She loved to stay in the house on the back porch. That was lattice and screen. And when she grew up, we put her out in the yard with the other hens. Now, while playing, I had a playhouse built, but we played in the tree mostly in our yard. We had this big old tree divided into rooms, and we'd pretend must not go into the rooms except through certain parts we called a door. But this boy, Hope Baldwin, he would cross through the walls and the girls would fuss at him. We would want to be, he would want to be the doctor and operate on our dolls. Of course, we wouldn't let him. Hope's daddy died, and he and his mother moved away. She sold her home to Miss Broner, and she had a girl our age. And she had some older sisters and brothers, but older girls didn't play with us. Then about 2 o'clock, each child had to go home and get a bath and be cleaned up to sit and play games on the front porch. We stayed clean until for supper. Every Friday night, our parents would let us invite all the children to each other's house. Oh, what a good time we'd have. I remember one mother made hot rolls, fresh butter, a homemade syrup, and honey. Oh, how we all looked forward to going to Margaret and Martha Haynes' house on Friday night. Saturday, we all had to keep our company on the porch. Sundays was always busy going to our churches, and most every Sunday company would come home with us for dinner and visit together all Sunday afternoon and back to church for night service. When I was in the 5th grade, I remember there were so many in our class. The teacher had all of us to stand up around the room, and she counted every other one, and she'd say, all number 2s will go to the 16th Street School. That was a long ways to walk, but it helped us grow up. I took elocution 2 years, and my teacher taught this class in her home down near the school. She taught us how to speak in public, nice manners for different occasions, and we learned poems and so forth. When I was in the 6th grade, we started taking home egg. Miss Duskin invited, our home ec teacher, invited her entire class to her wedding. Oh gee, we were thrilled to death, and promised to be real nice and behave in every way. That was my first wedding invitation, and still treasure her kindness to her class. I wanted to take woodwork in school, but that was a boys' course, and I couldn't find enough girls that wanted to take woodwork. But I loved to build things, but never had the chance to learn different kind of woods or what they were used for, and different courses. But I had dusted antique furniture that we owned and admired it, and I wanted to learn more about it. Soon our grammar grades were over. Then high school with all its excitement. We walked to school that was about a mile away. There were 2 high schools, one high school that fitted you for college, and we had an industrial high that fitted you for different types of work courses. I went to the high school because I wanted to be a medical missionary, and I knew I'd have to have certain subjects to fit me in college work. She also in nursing school. Things happened, and my plans were changed. Then I met your granddaddy. He was so nice-mannered, and he knew a lot of people I knew, and after going together 2 years, we were married. Now, soon will be 60 years of marriage. Our 3 children, all married and have homes of their own. And we have grandchildren and great-grandchildren. Our wedding was in my sister's home, March the 4th, 1926. The reception also, we were to leave on our wedding trip. When we went out to get in the car, someone had jacked the car up on bricks. We couldn't move. That all got to throw, and that way they got to throw rice on us. Our car was decorated with tin cans and tied to the car and everything else. My brother bought a car, a big Mitchell. It seated 5 people. The 2 extra seats were folded up against the front seat. Gave